Good evening, everyone. Am I audible and visible? Everybody, please confirm so we can start. I'm just waiting for more students to join in so then I can start speaking. Okay, great. Just waiting for more students to join in so then we can start having a very informal but productive session here. Hello, Ashok. How are you? So the camera is in the front and the pad having comment section is down here. So I will be alternating between the two. Yeah. Okay. Great to know, Ashok. Hi, Shadab. Hope everyone is preparing well for the exams. Just waiting for more students to join in so I can start then. Okay, great. So let us begin. First of all, the formal introduction. This is Sandeep Sharma here. I am the pediatrics faculty. I've done my MD pediatrics from PGI Chandigarh, and today I'm taking an evening live session from Doc Tutorials, and it's a Ask Me Anything session. Ask me anything does not mean you ask me anything what comes to your mind. So other than the personal questions, you are most welcome to ask any of the question which is bugging you regarding the NEET PG entrance preparation. So I shall be sharing my perspective on the approach on how to prepare for NEET PG over the next few weeks, over the next few months. The approach word is very dicey because it says this is the right approach and this is the wrong approach. Let me first clarify that there are 1,000 ways to reach the same destination. But what is important is that you take one path which is correct and you stick to that before you reach your destination. There is no single perfect way, but you eventually have to take one way. So that is my perspective being shared in this video. So initially, first of all, I'll like to tell you, hi Jignasu, hi Akanksha. So first of all, I need to discuss that where do we stand today. NEET PG was supposed to be held on 10th January 2021. It has now been postponed. Internship of certain students is not yet completed. The official dates are not yet out. But what is expected is that it will be happening somewhere in the end of March or the first week of April. This is what the buzz is, and this is what we expect the likely dates to be. So what it means is you have approximately 3 to 3.5 months at your disposal. And even if your past preparation, your past results in INI CET were not that great, you still have a lot of time to do catch up. How much time? We have almost 3 months or 3 months plus. This is good enough time to work on your deficiencies and make it work, make it big in your NEET PG exam. But how to go about it? See, if I give you 4 years from now, still you will not be able to finish the syllabus because end of the day, one is never satisfied. But in the 3 month period, it is important to be productive in whatever you are doing. You can't do everything. So the first thing is making a good plan. So when you keep a target, first is making a good plan. Like you decide the date, say the date is going to be 25th March, right? Just take it as a, assume it as a date. So you have from 25th December till 25th March, how much is the time that you have available? You have approximately 3 month time available. 1 to 1.5 months, your target should be to finish all 19 subjects at least once. And then there should be minimum of two rapid, fast revisions which should be adjusted in that period. If you are able to do that for all 19 subjects, half the battle is won. So first is making a plan and sticking to it. Second is what exactly you should be reading in that. Now, life is just like that. When you have a lot of options in front of you, you can't do everything, then you make a triage list. All of you have read surgery and you know what triage is. In an emergency room, the patient who is more sick and requires more attention is attended first, and the other patients are attended late. That is triage. We use the word triage even in our day-to-day thing. We suppose you are very social and you get a birthday party request from five different people at the same time. One are your parents, second is your sibling, third is your cousin, fourth is your crush oblique boyfriend oblique girlfriend, and fifth is a random colleague, and sixth is some unknown person. So what should be your triage list? Which one would you attend first? Most of you, of course, the parents and the family, the siblings will come first, followed by maybe your crush, followed by maybe your cousin, followed by maybe your colleague, followed by the unknown person. Ideally, you should be attending all, but this is how we actually do in real life. That is what you're going to do in the NEET PG exam as well. For your NEET PG exam, the most important thing for your preparation is your notes. The first thing that you should do, the must do thing is your notes. It does not matter whether you have handwritten notes or you have printed notes from one place. It should be something which you have read before. And handwritten notes are always preferential because you have written them using your own hands. So you have a vague memory of what is written where. Second important thing is define is recent paper. So it is a process we are following. First is defining a goal. Time kitna hai, how many revisions you are going to do, that part. Third is defining your resources, your ammunition, your weapon. Notes are essential, number one. Recent papers, NEET PG papers, recent AIMS papers, recent JIPMER and PGI, if time allows, those papers. Last 3 to 4 year papers are essential. Anything extra and older, if you can do, they are optional. And then you should be solving, you should be practicing MCQs in every subject. In the first reading which you do over the next 1.5 months, 70% time should be spent on theory and 30% time should be spent on solving MCQs. This time can vary. If your theory base is weak, you can increase the theory part a bit. In case your MCQ part is weaker, you can maybe make it 40% of MCQs. But reading only theory or doing only MCQs is not going to help you. Life is all about balance. There are one-liners, there are clinical exams, questions, there are visuals in the paper. So you have to balance out everything. Right now, I'm just sharing my perspectives. After that, I'll be opening it as a live session, and you are most welcome to ask any queries if you have. Then, how much time you should be giving to a subject? It varies according to the weightage of the subject. You want to be an orthopedician? Great. For that, you need to get a top rank. But should you give the, because you want to be orthopedician, should you be reading orthopedics as much as medicine? The answer is no. Orthopedics, end of the day, is a short subject. Medicine is a big subject. So your weightage of time you divide should be proportional to the weightage of that subject in the particular exam. So a subject like pathology pharmacology will require more time as compared to, say, a subject like physiology or biochemistry. I have nothing against those two subjects. The point I'm trying to make is the time division you do should be according to the weightage of the condition. Then you should be focusing on accuracy. What happens in the paper is you will find it happening in the paper. Everybody knows that there will be one question on acid base balance. There will be one question on causes of high anion gap acidosis, normal anion gap acidosis. But what we do, we say, okay, this will come and this will surely come. So I will revise it in the end. We have a tendency to postpone. No, it should be like, sir has said, or I have found that this question is asked almost every time. So I will be a master of this topic in today only and do it multiple number of times. Play to your strength. The topics which are very frequently asked, be a complete master in that. And keep 1 hour per day separate for revising those topics which are asked on a daily basis. Let me give you a sample way how a candidate should be preparing. Suppose I am a candidate, right? I gave INICET. My exam did not go through very well. Now I want to prepare again. So what will I do? First of all, I will look at those 19 subjects which are there in front of me. Then I will divide them according to their weightage. Then I will look at what are the areas where I did not perform good at all or where I feel I am very deficient. You will find that most of the people are a bit underconfident in subjects like pharmacology, subjects, my own subject, pediatrics. Many of you are underconfident in subjects like surgery. Medicine everybody reads. You may not be able to do everything, but you are relatively confident as compared to surgery, and so on, right? So those areas which are weaker, you will spend more time upon them as compared to the other subjects, giving them 5 to 10% more time. And whenever you read, every day there should be MCQ which should be solved. Every day there should be theory which should be solved. Every 15 days you have to give one full length mock exam. It can be a paid mock exam, it can be a random mock exam, it can be something just you can just solve on your sheets as well. Free mock exam also. But you need to practice time management and practice whatever you are reading in that areas. Then you should revise. What should be the speed of revision? The speed of revision should be fast. You should be revising rapidly, as many number of times as possible. Multiple revisions are needed. Spending the entire day on Alzheimer disease is not going to help. Instead, read Alzheimer disease within 1 hour and then revise for 10 minutes every weekly for the next 2 weeks. And you will find you are a master of Alzheimer disease. So, multiple fast revisions are better than one reading and not revising it at all. And finally, the thing we are going to discuss here, image based questions. Now, image based questions are not many in entrance exam in NEET PG, but they still form a significant chunk of the things. So, whenever you are reading a clinical topic, think of the hallmark finding of that, and if that image has been provided to you, you must have a look at it. That does not mean you start googling everything which you are finding, but try to see what that particular element is trying to say. For example, if you are discussing Kawasaki disease, you are reading Kawasaki disease and you find strawberry tongue, it is a very peculiar finding. So always look out and Google the photo of strawberry tongue before you sit for the exam. If you are already preparing from a particular set of entrance exam app or any source, then you would already have that image with you. So see that image, make a mental note of it, what you need to know. Because in exam, it is always in clinical questions, in integrated questions, it is always about a particular keyword and a particular key image being shown. If you identify that, you can reach the correct answer. So for image questions, it is very simple. There are a few areas from where images are always asked. You can note them down if you want. In NEET PG, the areas from where image-based questions can be asked are common ECG patterns, normal ECG, abnormal ECGs like atrial fibrillation, flutter, your different types of heart blocks, and ST segment elevation, ST segment depression, ECG in hypokalemia, hyperkalemia. So these 20, 12, 13 ECGs are there. They are very important. Questions कैसे आ सकते हैं? They may ask you simply, look at the ECG image and tell the diagnosis. Or they may give you a ECG of PSVT and ask you the drug of choice. You know the drug of choice for PSVT is adenosine, but only when you are able to identify, then only you will be able to reach the correct answer. So first is mastering the common 10 to 15 ECGs which are there for image-based things, number one. Second thing are looking at the images of common syndromes. It does not mean you start looking at Joubert syndrome and Cornelia de Lange syndrome. No, they're not going to be asked. Even if they're asked, nobody's going to be able to mark them in the paper. Down syndrome, Edwards syndrome, Patau syndrome, Dye-George syndrome, the syndromes you find in medicine, important common syndromes you find in other textbooks. Viscott-Eldridge syndrome. What are the key findings, key facial features? Mucopolysaccharidosis. How does the face look like? What is coarse facies? So common syndromes and how they look like. If you if you are you try to be conservative, still it will not be more than 30 to 40 or maybe 50 images, not more than that. Just have a look at them 2 3 times and you will be done in that area. The third thing which you need to know is in dermatology. Dermatology has a lot of images being asked in the paper. So dermatology spend a lot of time looking at the various histological parts as well as different type of skin lesions. How does a herald patch look like? How does a particular, say, you have a papillosquamous disorder? What are the differential diagnoses which can happen? Umbilicated skin nodule is molluscum contagiosum. MCQ on it has already been asked. So how do they look like? This is something which you need to see, which you need to practice. The fourth important area is anatomy orthopedics overlap. These days, the trending thing is they don't ask you where is median nerve situated or what is the branch of median nerve or what is the action of median nerve. They will show you an image of a cadaver and they will label median nerve with an arrow. How would you identify the major peripheral nerves in cadaver images, the major arteries in cadaver images, the major brain arteries in cadaver images, the parts in cadavers? Those are important. This is something which is going to take a lot of time. You still have a lot of time. When you read anatomy, when you read orthopedics, do them in a integrated manner. Integrated is a very fancy word. Everybody is saying integrated, integrated, integrated. Integrated simply means you are not only reading that subject, you are not limited to that subject alone, but you are expanding it to include the associated areas as well. That is what you call as integrated. So when you are reading about peripheral nerves, you are not only looking at the course, but also its the branches and the clinical manifestation of the damage to that nerve. That is what is called as integrated. So do the anatomy images well. A lot of anatomy images are asked in the exams. And finally, you have those histological slides, histopathology slides asked in pathology. In microbiology, the trend is on images involving the life cycle. They will give you a photograph of a life cycle of a particular organism and ask you questions based upon that. So you should be able to know this is Wuchereria bancrofti, whose life cycle is being shown. This is Japanese encephalitis virus life cycle which is being shown. It is Rickettsia rickettsii life cycle which is being shown. So images of life cycles are important when you read microbiology, when you practice microbiology. And then images of the graphs are important in your histogram. How does it look like? How does it differ from bar diagram? What is pie chart? Just those small little things. Logos of various health programs of various organizations, they are important. How does biohazard symbol look like? So those are the images you should be practicing. And of course, the surgical instruments is the another area from where images are likely to be asked. So these are the important areas where image based questions can be asked. Practice is the only way you can do it. Physiology, biochemistry, psychiatry, these are the areas from where images are less likely to be asked. They can, but they are less likely to be asked. Subjects with higher weightage of images include your pediatrics, dermatology, medicine, surgery, gynae instruments, as well as the gynae features of a child, the photographs of maneuvers being performed in the child, anatomy, orthopedics, forensic medicine, toxicology, particularly those pictures of snakes and venoms and the poisonous plants. Those images, rigor mortis, different types of post-mortem staining, these are the areas which you should write. Once this video is done, this live video is done, it will be available to you. Pause it intermittently and write down all these points. You never know. See, whatever things I'm telling you, most of the things you already know, but it sometimes requires somebody to tell you so that it is easy for you to implement. End of the day, it will all come down to a student who has read once, revised 2 to 3 times, knows everything about the 100 to 150 important topics which are always asked, has practiced recent 3 to 5 year papers well, and has not left any critical topic like Down syndrome, like snake poisoning, untouched. There is no reason why that candidate should not get selected in NEET PG exam. It's as simple as that. But what we do in real life is we tend to complicate the things. We go in for FOMO, fear of missing out. What is fear of missing out? You all know. All these fancy terms are being said, fancy programs are being said, integrated things, motivational things. There is an overdose of everything. Do not fall for FOMO. Whatever you need to succeed in the exam is already there in your notes, in your books, in your mind. It will all come down to how well you read, how well you practice, and how clear your concepts are. In case you are reading pediatrics, just remembering the flow chart of neonatal resuscitation, you will not be able to solve any MCQs. Read that flow chart, solve MCQs, still you are unable to understand, take the help of a specialist, ask me. I would be more than willing. I will tell you that this is what is CPAP, this is what is PPV. CPAP and PPV are two different things. Only when you know this concept, this clarity is there, and you have solved MCQs related to that subject, you will not be afraid. You will not have to mug up neonatal resuscitation thing. I'm just giving you an example. So whatever you are reading, know what is the meaning of that, and then practice, revise, focus on accuracy. Do not leave any subject untouched. Weightage is okay, but end of the day, every subject there can be some more questions coming and some other subjects less question coming. Be mentally prepared for whatever is thrown at you. And images are important in NEET PG. Approximately what is expected, from what I feel, is almost 40 to 45 questions will be image based questions, directly or as a part of some syndrome. 45 questions are going to be there from images. Focus on the areas which I said. Focus on dermatology, forensic medicine, anatomy, surgical instruments, important syndromes, histopathological images, and the life cycle photographs, types of eggs of parasites, and you will do well in the paper. So this is all from my side, what I wanted to say. Uh, any doubts which you have? It's a ask me session, so I'm opening it. Please ask me. If I know the answer, I will be replying. So you're most welcome to ask me. I've opened the comment section now, so feel free to ask anything other than what I'm having for dinner, because I don't know. If nothing else, you can simply just say how you are feeling, how is your preparation going. Ashok is asking regarding strategy for final year students, and when will you launch your complete pediatric lecture for final years or interns? Ashok, my complete pediatric lectures, which will cover everything which I feel is important, ranging from the core pediatrics to allied subjects in pediatrics to critical care pediatrics to overlapping things in pediatrics with medicine and others, they will all be releasing soon on doc tutorials. Soon means they'll be releasing in the month of January. But other than that also, in case you feel any topic I can help you out, you are unable to understand, I'll try to explain to the best of my ability. Punendu Sinha, tentative date of NEET PG. I don't think even the health minister knows himself, or but what we know is that the NMC notification which came, it said that March or April is the tentative time around which NEET PG is expected to happen. So let us not fall prey to rumors and be prepared with a target of somewhere in the March. Even if it happens in April, we'll have extra a bonus time. There is another rumor floating around in the market which says NEET PG and INI CET will be clubbed. They may be, they may not be. Nobody knows, so let us not fall prey to rumors. Ria Gupta is asking, make a video on syndromes not covered in the notes. Ria, which notes? Of course, I need to know regarding which notes you are talking about. And secondly, there are 30,000 syndromes in pediatrics. So important syndromes I'm trying to cover I'm covering in my recordings which I'm doing. Other than that, also I will be posting updates very regularly on those. Dhiren is asking. Dhiren Verma is asking, good evening, sir. I'm a dropout from PG, just 3 months in hands. How to go forward, sir? Dhiren, 3 months is a huge time. It is a huge time. 3 months, I just gave you a sample. If you, once this video is over, it will be uploaded on this doc tutorials page. Just listen to the first 15 minutes of what I said, and you will find a blueprint. The blueprint is simple. First step, define the time by which you are going to, you have 3 months, right? 1.5 months, you finish syllabus once. Remaining 1.5 month, you do two revisions. Weightage, time you devote is according to the weightage of that subject. Practice recent 3 year important questions. Make a list of around 100 topics which are always asked, which will include things like Alzheimer disease, things like retinitis pigmentosa, things like you have those vesicobullous disorders in children, things like peripheral nerve injuries, and read one topic per day. 100 days, 100 topics, one topic mastered every day, 15 minutes per day. Other than that, the 6 to 8 hours per day, consistent study. If you do it consistently, no reason why you should not do well in the paper. So keep it simple. Don't make it complicated. Arjun Raj is asking, PDN peripheral aims or drop and take in NEET, sir? Arjun, please do not drop. If you're getting pediatrics in peripheral aims, I think you should take it. Of course, I don't know you. I don't know your what you intend to do in later life. It all comes down to an individual decision. But if I am in your place, I would not drop out for thing which has not happened yet. Peripheral aims are still not at par with the central Delhi aims, but still they are better than many of the state medical colleges. Uh, Rishikesh, Jodhpur, AIMS, Bhubaneswar AIMS, even Raipur for that matter, all four are good when it comes to pediatrics. You can consider any of them. Yes, Ria, I know syndromes are quite volatile. Uh, of course, it is difficult for me to say that read my notes from doc tutorials because I'm still in the process of recording them. But other than that, important syndromes, I will try to post updates based upon those in the coming days. So don't worry about it. There will be short videos, short webinars I will be holding on syndromes in pediatrics on this page itself. So you can look forward to them and add them to your notes. Vivek Atri, good evening, Vivek. I'm post-diploma secretary from MD. There is a gap of 4 years. I have done syllabus. My dream is MD from 70. Thanks in advance. Hi, Vivek. I do remember you, Vivek, and I know you have been a good student. You have taken a break, that is fine. But if you are going in for MD psychiatry, see, the rules remain the same. The weightage of the subject, the pattern has changed. So you need to do a bit more clinical questions, practice a few more images. You need to practice a few video questions, and you need to practice those lengthy integrated questions where the question starts from surgery but ends up in anatomy. So you need to just practice a bit more and work according to a plan. 3 months is a very good time, Vivek, and you can do exceptionally well. I do remember you from 2006, 15, 16 times. You have done really well in those times also. So why not again? Ashok, how finally a student should prepare for the next NEET or next is a separate thing which I shall be talking about separately. But the rules remain the same. You have more time at hand. Focus on building the concepts, solving MCQs, and going according to the weightage of the subject. Yes, Dr. Rajaratna is there. So she might feel, she might get angry at me that I did not talk about images in ophthalmology. Images are asked in ophthalmology as well. Of course, ma'am is better suited to tell you about those things. Pick every subject regarding image-based questions, identify the areas, and devote, say, like every Friday or every Saturday, 2 hours, I will do image-based questions. Pick one subject, two subjects every weekend and do them. 2 hours every weekend. And you would find that almost all the images you have revised. Nitish is saying your notes are crisp and concise. Thank you, Nitish. Ria, you're welcome. You're welcome, Vivek. Vivek, if you have any issue, you can also inbox me. I'll reply there. Please make a practical video approach to critical clinical scenarios. Yes, Dora, I am already working on them, and I have recorded. In fact, I have just recorded two of the videos. I don't take these live sessions wearing a tie and all those things. I have recorded such videos, and they will appear soon. If you find them useful, you can ask me. You can let me know. I will make more such videos for you in the paper for your practice. Yes, Shadab, the things I am saying are for FMG students also. It is just that the paper pattern and difficulty level is, you can say, 0.1 to 2% lesser as compared to NEET PG. Rules remain the same. In fact, NEET and FMG exam is now going to be merged. So you need to be mentally prepared for that. Tathagat is asking, what for those in COVID duties and preparing from December for NEET PG 2021? Tathagat, you are a COVID warrior. Whatever you are doing is excellent, but at the same time, uh, since you are starting a bit late, you need to be very particular and concise in what you read. Don't go in for lengthy things. Don't go in for lengthy courses. Keep it short. Give time according to weightage. Make a plan and stick to it as if your life depends upon it. I'm saying again and again, 3 months is a huge time to make a transition from somewhere in the range of 50, 60,000 rank into top 1000 ranks. I'm not joking. It can be done. I have seen people do every year. I see it being done almost every year. It is just that you have to believe and not fall prey to FOMO. FOMO means fear of missing out. Kaise hoga? Some people are reading a lot, so many courses in the market. Take any course, take any particular thing only if you feel you can do justice to it. Having self belief, being consistent with your reading, and finishing your targets within the time is what is going to make you achieve your rank. Nitish, pursuing MD radio diagnosis, attended your lectures in 2017. Oh, great, Nitish. It has been quite some time. My lectures have also evolved, they've changed quite a bit, but I always try to keep it simple. Great, Nitish. Neha is asking, I'm getting PDF from PGI, but my dream branch is radiology. I should go for the branch. Ideally, yes, Neha, you should go in for branch, but it also comes down to a lot of people, they go in for central institutes and they don't take risk of dropping out. So it is a very personal decision you need to take based upon your risk appetite and where you see yourself. Pediatrics is not bad, but if you have only wanted to be radiologist, yes, it makes sense to be a radiologist only. But dropping out is a very big risk. Always weigh the pros and cons and discuss with people who will guide you properly. Ria is asking for INI CET 5-year previous year PGI papers will do. Ria, since INI CET is conducted by AIMS, AIMS papers plus PGI papers are optional. So recent three NEET papers, recent 3 to 5 AIMS papers, recent 2 to 3 PGI papers, recent 1 or 2 JIPMET papers are good enough. But don't miss AIMS papers because NICET is done by AIMS. Ajay Sharma. Ajay, foundation course notes and regular class notes are very different for the simple reason that in one area I'm talking for the first time. I'm trying to tell you the to tell you the basic mota points of pediatrics. When I am talking in a regular class, the topics may remain the same, but my approach is, I know that you know a particular disease, so I go a bit more in depth and it is more MCQ oriented when I take a regular class. So the topic coverage as well as the speed as well as the MCQ orientation is the one which is different. Of course, end of the day, Down syndrome is Down syndrome. Yes, Tathagat, you will do well in your exam. Don't give up upon yourself. See, बहुत बार ऐसा होता है, what happens is people give up on others. Your parents give up upon you, your friends give up upon you. You yourself should not give up upon yourself because you know yourself best. आप एक लेवल पे पहुंचे हो, ओके? You all are not normal people. You all are people of exceptional intelligence. You cleared PMT once upon a time. Remember? Among lakhs of students, you cleared PMT, NEET exam, state PG, state MBBS exam, and you completed your MBBS. Every prof, one day before the exam, you would think, इस बार fail हो जाएंगे. But what happened? You passed out with flying colors. So you have done it in the past. Why you should not be able to do it this time alone? NEET PG exam is 3 months away. There are a lot of time available. बहुत सारे students क्या करेंगे? They will be like relaxed. Okay, there is a lot of time. We will do it later. This is the time you can get ahead of them. So make use of this opportunity. Believe in your abilities and stay motivated. A lot of people say, "Sir, motivated कैसे रहना है?" Watch motivational videos, but there are too many motivational videos these days. Some people say we listen to Sandeep Maheshwari. No, listen to Sandeep Sharma. This Sandeep Sharma, what he's saying. What I am saying is, you don't need external motivation. Motivation comes from inside. Sit in a closed room, say to yourself, what keeps me motivated? It can be anything. Think of positive motivation. If I get selected, I will be at a premier institute doing the best things in my life. My parents will be proud of me. I will be earning good money. That is positive motivation. Negative motivation, you don't get selected. If you don't get selected, what will happen? Again, drop. People will question your ability. Don't let it happen. Use it as a thing to propel yourself. That is negative motivation. Again, it comes from inside. Third thing, money, monetary motivation. Money does not buy success or happiness in life, but money is very important. I always say it is always better to cry in a five-star hotel than to cry in a hut or on a roadside path. So earn good money so that at least the monetary aspects you are not lagging behind in life. And yes, money can't buy happiness, but it is very important. And how will money come? Only when you work, only when you excel, only when you take a seat of your choice. Branch is irrespective, institute is irrespective. You should like your branch and you should be excellent in that branch, and for that you need to crack the entrance exam as soon as possible. This is the monitoring, and then you can have the vengeful motivation. Life has always treated me harshly, but I will prove everything wrong. All those people who have questioned me, take revenge upon them. One last shot, one last punch should be from your side. That is vengeful motivation. It all comes down to what way you motivate yourself. So listen to yourself and stay motivated. Then, how many GTs should be given in 1 week? Uh, Not more than one, because you need to read also. Na? The purpose of grand test is practice, number one. Secondly, time management. Number three, any subject which you have finished in any grand test of any institute, you should be able to solve 70% questions correct. That's the thumb rule. If you're not able to do 70% questions of that, but suppose you have finished pediatrics, right? Now you sat in the grand test, there were 15 questions of pediatrics, you were able to answer only 4. Your pediatrics preparation is not good. You need to find the reason, analyze, and work upon it. So grand test works in multiple ways, but if you are only doing one grand test daily, you are wasting 3 hours daily. Don't do that. One grand test per week is good enough. Maybe two if you have a problem with time management. Sanjay Babu, you're welcome, Sanjay. Ajay, I'm now an intern. I have attended what to do, reach up to same level of regular class notes. Ajay, my notes will release soon. You can take them. They will be releasing with doc tutorials. I've started the recording stuff, and I have tried to work upon whatever deficiencies were there. The coverage is more, images are more, clinical scenarios are more. In CNS, I have talked about listen carefully, but not gone into too much details to overburden you. But I've made sure that you get what is needed for you in the exam. You are prepared for that in a easy to understand point of view. So you can go in for those notes, or if you feel your notes are fine, I'm not asking you, I'm not hard selling a product or an institute. All I'm saying is, if you find them, you can go in for my fresh notes, or otherwise, if there is a particular topic or syndrome you are feeling a problem with, you are most welcome to ask me. I am in the process of making a lot of webinars in the next few weeks and months. I will come there, and I will teach to the best of my ability. That's all I can say. Anything else? The session is still 7. So you still have 11 questions to ask questions, to criticize me, to question yourself. So think of me like I'll not judge you, don't worry. And you should not be, you should be frankly be saying whatever you feel like. That is what these sessions are. It's not one way, it's two ways. Mohit Vikas, up to what resources we should limit ourselves, notes and GT and see Mohit. As I said before in the video, you should be making a triage list. You can't do everything. Your own notes, whatever source you have done, number one. Multiple readings of those, focusing on accuracy, focusing on the weightage. Second thing is your past papers. Past NEET PG papers, 3 NEET PG papers are a must. Past 2 to 3 papers of AIMS, 1 to 2 papers of JIPMER, 1 to 2 papers of PGI are a must. Not because those questions are going to be asked, but when you solve those questions, they are actual questions and they have a tendency, the topics have a tendency to get repeated. The third thing is, if you have joined any rapid revision course of any institute, or if you are solving a TND of any institute, or you have recently completed a particular TND or a particular course, that particular course needs to be revised. All these three things are essential. One grand test per week is essential. Anything else you can fit in is wonderful. But I don't think there will be time if you try to do more than this. Hitu is asking, giving GTs make me panic and afraid. Hitu, panicking now is better than panicking in the exam. So sit, give 2 GTs per week. So anybody who panics in giving GTs, you should condition your mind according to how you are going to be sitting in actual paper. Mind is just like that. If you practice multiple number of times a certain scenario, you don't feel out of place when that actual thing happens. Nothing should surprise you in the paper. So what you do is, when you give a grand test, mobile phone closed, your door closed, everything closed, only you, and sticking to the time. In 3 hours you give grand test. After the grand test is over, analyze, spend 2 3 hours and analyze where you went well, where you did not go well, did you finish the GT on time, and what are the deficient areas. So 3 hours of GT, 3 hours of analysis, 1 to 2 times every week. And you will soon find that your mind now starts adapting to the grand test, and you will not be afraid when you sit in the actual NEET paper. So better to panic and make mistakes now than to make them in the actual paper. Ajay is asking, where will I get your notes? Ajay, my notes will obviously come in doc tutorials only, because I'm now in online space. I'm with doc tutorials, but they are yet to release. So Priyanshu, what is the drug of choice for more volatile subject? Priyanshu is asking, how should we go about volatile subject? Let me give you an example. Uh, Suppose you are weak in pharmacology. Okay, suppose. So what you do is, there are 19 subject. 18 subject, you make a plan according to whatever way you are going to do. Take pharmacology out and keep it separate. Now say to yourself, pharmacology is my weak subject. Okay. So what I will do is, every day, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. or whatever time suits you, 1 hour, I will read pharmacology irrespective of schedule. And in that, so what you will do is, 1 hour today, 1 hour tomorrow, 1 hour day after. So in 30 days, you will spend 30 hours of pharmacology. In those 30 hours, you will cover 30 important topics of pharmacology. And every seventh day, you are taking 1 day's break and revising whatever you have done in the past. To give you an example, pharmacology is weak. You say, okay, from tomorrow, I will be reading 8 hours in a day. 7 hours for surgery and dermatology and whatever you are reading. 1 hour every day for pharmacology, which I will read daily for next 1 month. So day one, you will, for 1 hour you will read corticoids. Day two, you will read beta lactam drugs. Day three, 1 hour you will read anti-cancer agents. Day four, you will read antipsychotic agents. ऐसे ही 6 days हो गए. 7th day, you will not read new pharmacology. That 1 hour period for pharmacology जो reserved है, you will revise whatever you have read in last 6 days. And then you will solve MCQs of pharmacology of those systems. Then the cycle begins again. Do it for 2 to 3 weeks, and you will find that the subject which was weaker will now become your stronger subject, because you are doing it in a more focused form. And you are, because you are not, if you try to read entire pharmacology in one day, mind will become saturated. Everything will appear like propranolol, pindolol, acebulol, all lols will look alike. But when you do it on a regular small bolus doses, it is easy for your mind to recall them. Try to do it for volatile subjects and let me know if it doesn't help you. It has helped a lot of students. I've done it myself in my preparation days. Vivek Atri, analysis of grant test should be done same day, but that day, same day gets utilized, same day increases the sense of anxiety. Vivek, there is no hard and fast rule in that. You can do it like alternate day. You can like fix a day for analyzing your grant test. Analysis does not mean you are doing like proper making a Excel sheet and working upon that. Analysis simply means you have given the grant test, so you should know what was my score, how many I attempted, how many went well, what was the approximate questions coming from each subject, and how many did I get right. And then look at the questions which you were supposed to mark correct but are wrong. Look at their explanation, and if you find a particularly important point, then it was wrong, add them to your notes. The entire process should not take more than 3 to 4 hours. So 3 to 4 hours, 1 week for analysis. I think it should not be a problem. You can maybe take a day and then do it one day later. Parth Munga, why you left DAMS? Miss your classes so much. Parth, I have not left DAMS. It's just that I'm not associated with DAMS in the online space. I am a part of DAMS in the offline space, but not in the online space. So there are reasons for that. DAMS did give me opportunity, but we all need to move on in life. So DAMS is still a wonderful place, but I'm not associated with DAMS in online space. That is what I want to say. So you're welcome. Thank you very much. What will be the subjects in next? Anirban, the final weightage of subjects and the format of next is something which is being discussed by National Medical Commission. I think it is better to wait for the final guidelines to come. From what we expect, from what I have heard from my sources, is that January, you will be getting the details of next. This is what I have heard, although I don't know much more than this. So you're welcome, Priyanshu. You're welcome, Vivek. So we are 3 minutes are left in the session. You have any doubts, you're most welcome to ask me. If you feel that live session is not helping, you don't want to put it in public domain, you can also inbox me. So prepare hard. Do not give up upon yourself. You are a wonderful person. You have won earlier. There is no reason why you should not do it again. मेडिकल कॉलेज सबके ऐसे निकलते हैं, सबका एमबीबीएस ऐसा ही होता है. Post MBBS, there are periods of time when you are heartbroken, when you do not perform well. It's fine. It's fine. That does not change you. It's just that if you did not do well in your exam, maybe something was lacking in your preparation, not in your mind. So work on your preparation, make a plan, stick to it, you'll do well. Uh, Parth Munga, can you please guide how to review GT? I always procrastinate reviewing. Parth, do not procrastinate. GT, as I said, once you have given any grand test, make a list of the questions you attempted, how many were correct, how many incorrect, and how many questions you thought were absolutely fine with you, but you got them wrong. Read their explanation and add them to your notes. And in case of bigger subjects, like suppose you give a grand test, you found that it had a lot of questions from surgery or a lot of questions of medicine. Try to see how many questions of medicine were there and how many you attempted, and then analyze it. Of course, with every GT, you should also be checking with, like previous GT, I had got 55% score. Did it become 60% this time or not? If it fell below 55, 55 से 54 हो गया, that is fine. But 55 से 45 हो गया, that means there is something wrong. Either the GT is too tough or you have not done well. Work upon that and you will find your way. Tathagat is asking what are important radiological aspects of pediatrics to be remembered. Sometimes mixed with other way, everything goes on. Daily sessions of imagings in your FP page is really confusing when images appear. Yes, Tathagat, point taken. I will focus on that, the radiological aspects of pediatric images. Ajay Sharma, will you take classes in DAMS Delhi in offline mode next year? Ajay, I don't take classes in Delhi. Delhi, I'm not there. Delhi, a separate faculty takes. Pratyay Das, should we focus on the whys for every point while reading notes, or should we try to learn faster and understand the gist of a topic? Pratyay, only 3 months are left, so you can't focus on the why of everything. But if you are reading a particular topic which has a high likelihood of being asked, then you can have a look at the why of that. Like, if it is a fact based thing, length of esophagus in newborn is 8 to 10 centimeter. It is a fact based thing. Do not think of why, just remember it, mug it up. But if you are solving a question on tetralogy of Fallot and you find that intensity of murmur is, it is an MCQ, right? Intensity of murmur is inversely proportional to degree of TOF. Now you should think of why. Only when you think of why, then you will read your notes, and if you are unable to find the answer, you will ask the faculty. And then the entire TOF pathophysiology will be clear in your mind, and no question will go wrong in TOF. So it should be an important topic, and it should be a thing related to MCQ. Only then you will look for why. Otherwise, why's ka time nahi hai. Just remember certain concepts as the way they are. You're welcome, Parth. Neha regularly conduct these online sessions. Neha, I'm more than up for it. So of course I'll be trying to come online as much as possible. So I don't have a prepared list of what to talk. I just go by what I feel and what you people are asking. It's always better this way. Rajan Ramani Arvind, will you teach entire pediatrics? Yes, Raman, I will be teaching entire pediatrics in doctor tutorials. There will be almost 12 to 14 modules, all systems of pediatrics, including pediatric surgery, including pediatric critical care, including pediatric case scenarios and discussions. They all will be covered in my course. All classes, see Rajan, the recordings are still on. I'm not the competent person to tell you about when those will be done. From what it looks like, I think January, they should appear in public domain. Shreya is asking, can't really focus after INI-CET. Shreya, yes, it is understandable. See, after every exam where we have not done well, it is difficult to focus. You need to understand that INI-CET was a very atypical paper. There was atypical division, there was atypical weightage, and there were atypical questions, and there were few questions where the image was not uploaded. I have made grand test in the past for some organizations, and I know that I make better quality papers than the paper which was given to you. Having said that, there is no use cribbing about it. It was the same for everyone. And if we did not do well, if you did not do well, there was something lacking in the preparation. Identify and work upon it. If you have faltered somewhere, now there has to be a problem somewhere. Either you did not do a particular subject well, or you left certain topics untouched, or you were stuck in two options and you were able to mark out the other two options, but those two options where you were stuck, you went wrong. What it means is you need to increase your accuracy. Like if a question comes on cystic fibrosis ka gene kahan par hai, options are 3p, chromosome 3p, chromosome 3q, chromosome 7p, chromosome 7q. You will know that chromosome 7 के ऊपर होता है, but short arm है या long arm है. अगर ये पता है, then only you will be able to reach the correct answer. So your accuracy should be not only remembering the chromosome number of an important topic, not every syndrome, but also knowing the short arm and long arm in important topics. If you do it system wise, subject wise, there is time 3 months, you can do excellent in that. So stay motivated, as I said, as I give examples, and you will do well. Aditya is asking how to revise all 19 subjects. Can you please guide me? Aditya, I listened to this video from the beginning. I've given you a blueprint, weight time according to weightage, define resources, solve notes, read important topics from any standard source which you can if time permits you, and solve recent MCQs, do retrospective study as much as possible. Tushar is asking, I have got 7.5K rank in INI-CET, done with 7 subjects, first, second, and medicine surgery. Any tips? Tushar, 7.5K rank means it's okay rank, it's good rank. uh, you are done with 7 subjects, 12 more are pending. Focus on finishing the syllabus first, focus on your increasing the accuracy. The times are trending times are there for infectious diseases. It's my bet. I can put half of my money, not full, half of my money on bet that betting is bad. But if I have to put, I'll say there will be a lot of questions from infectious diseases. There will be more questions than they were asked in INICET in preventive and social medicine, and there will be questions on syndromes. So focus on these things for your NEET PG exam. That does not mean कि यही पढ़ना है. Have to read all 19 subjects, but infectious diseases are very, very important across all subjects, whether it is adult, ophthalmology, ENT, pediatrics, gynae infections. You have to read them properly. Uh, Suyog have done well in INICET, gotten a borderline rank 1000. Suyog 1000 is an absolutely great rank. So there is pseudo confident procrastination is at peak. Please advise what to do. Suyog, very simple. 1000 आया है, but at the same time, the number of seats which are there are 200. 800 people are ahead of you. So don't get overconfident. And the people who are right now listening to you, they are working 16 hours a day. So around another 800, 900 would have gotten in front of you. So don't think that you are now reached at a level and you will do well. It's a battle. Don't fall in for overconfidence. During preparation, be underconfident कि there is somebody else जो मुझसे ज्यादा पढ़ रहा है. The time to be overconfident is one day before the exam when panic sets in. At that time you should say, मैंने सब पढ़ा है, मुझे सब याद आता आ जाएगा एग्जाम में. Options will be there, I will identify them. जो मुझे नहीं आता किसी को नहीं आता, because panic sets in at that time. Right now, make a schedule, stick to it, give all India level grand test if you want, and see where your rank lies, how you are performing. Do not fall for pseudo confidence, do not fall for procrastination. They will take down your rank. I have been victim of that certain times in my life. I have felt मुझे सब आता है. Give you a real life scenario. I got in my times, I got a rank of, I sat for AIMS. After the AIMS exam was over, I had my score after negative marking was coming out to be 74%. In the previous AIMS, the topper had got 71%. So my dad asked me, how have you performed? I said, top 10 में rank आएगा. Dad said, how can you be sure? I said, last year 71% था, मेरा 74% बन रहा है. 2% कम भी हो गया. Still, I will be in top 10. What actually happened? Actual paper was very easy. There were a lot of repeats in the paper, and the topper got a score of 80%. मेरा कुछ percentage में कुछ गड़बड़ था. I had more negatives than I had thought. My percentage was somewhere around 70 to 73%, and my rank was 99. I was not there even in the, and there were no peripheral aims. I was not in a position to get a clinical seat. So it was a one tight slap on my face, telling you that it is never over till you have a rank, a seat in your hand. So underconfident नहीं होना है, overconfident भी नहीं होना है. I worked upon my deficiencies and eventually I got through in in PGI with a good rank. But what it means is that you should be very, very clear in your mind कि it is everybody's working really their ass off. So don't fall for this that मुझे सब आता है. You need to revise as many number of times as possible. One MCQ here and there can make or break your rank. Rinky Prasad, hi Rinky. Alvin, hi sir, when will be NEET PG exam? Any news? I don't know. Alvin's frankly no idea. Either last week of March or maybe April. This is what NMC says. I don't know. I don't have any insider information. Neha Pandey, if you are getting a seat of your choice in peripheral aims, go in for it. There is no reason why you shouldn't. Rishikesh is a wonderful place. Clean air, good college, and it is one of the better aims, I would say, and close to Delhi. Top state medical college, no harm in that, but NEET PG is yet to be done. So it will all come down to where you are getting a seat of your choice. Get a rank and then think about all these things. So I think there are people looking at me कि सर wrap up करो, हमें वापस जाना है. So the queries will never end. But it was a wonderful session discussing all these things with all of you. Uh, Feel free to ask me anything. I'll come again with some webinar, more interactive sessions in the coming days. For pediatrics, most welcome to ask me anything you want. If I know the subject, I will be able to share it with you in a non-biased manner, non-commercial manner. Not promoting anything. You ask me anything, I will answer to the best of my ability. Thank you very much. And do well. Do not give up upon yourself. And Suyog, you have got rank of 1K. Get a rank of top 100. Anything less than that should be unacceptable to you. Be pseudo confident after your result are over, right? Get back to the job. All of you wonderful people, prepare well. God bless you all. And select होने के बाद कभी मिलेंगे. I run into airports and other places whenever I'm traveling for classes. I run into my ex-students often. And whenever I do meet them, they have time, I have time. We always have a coffee. अभी मेरा coffee का मग खाली हो गया है. Make it a point that I run into some of you someday. You are going to your medical college and I am going to my other place to take a class and we share a cup of coffee together. I love to do that. And you tell me how you performed in your rank and how you got selected and how people are sharing your success stories. Think of those positive times. Make it happen. All of that is doable. So you're welcome, Dr. Rajratna. You are also a master of all these sessions and all. I'm more of a, solo player. So thank you very much. All the best, everyone. Bye-bye. Good night. Take care. And wear your mask. I'm sitting in a small room. Wear your mask. Don't be a COVID idiot. Bye-bye.